Hi everybody, welcome to my channel Frugalisama. My name's Sam and this is where I talk about all things sewing. And today is another Frugal Friday and day 81 of 100 days of sewing. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for returning. I generally talk about sewing and sewing on a budget, and the Frugal Fridays are where I look at any new free patterns that I found during the week and any discounts and challenges and competitions that I've found. So today I've got 8 new free patterns that I've found to talk to you about, loads and loads of fantastic discounts and a couple of challenges, so keep watching. So on to today's video, and I'm going to start with some patterns that I found via the Love Sewing magazine, and the first one is this dress here, which is the Amelia dress. So this isn't a brand new pattern, it has been out for quite a long time, and it's a simple sew pattern. So it's available free to download via the Love Sewing magazine website. But what is new about it is that it is now including the instructions. So when I actually downloaded this from the Love Sewing website, it didn't have the instructions to fathom how it worked and how it went together. And it's just a really nice little tea dress. Probably can't see it too well at the moment because of the print's quite busy. But it's got short sleeves. I think there's a different sleeve length option, and then it's got the shirring at the waist here. You've got a V neck. I can't actually get onto Mandy, the mannequin here today, because it does actually have a zip in it, but I omitted the zip as I usually do, and it won't go over Mandy's shoulders. So what you can see there is the inside of the back, which looks a little bit strange, but normally you would put a zip in there if you wanted to, but because it's a V-neck I could just get it over my head. The one that's in the magazine is actually a maxi length. The one that I've made here is over my knees. It's what you call a T length, I suppose, or maybe, I don't know, just over the knee length, shall we call it. So yeah, you could just shorten the maxi length to the T length if you prefer. It's got a slight flare on it, it's not straight up and down, so A-line, and the gathering gives you the fitting. So there's no bust darts or anything. If you do omit the zip like I did, it is quite a straightforward make, apart from the shirring. Shirring's not difficult. I'd never done it before I tried on this, or I think I might have done it once before I tried on this. It's just a question of getting your tension right on your bobbin, and I will leave a link to a little tutorial by Mode and by Hand London for you if you want some help with shirring. So yeah, free pattern, lovely little tea dress, lovely for summer if you're going to a garden party or any kind of event. Depending on what fabric you use will depend on what look you get. It is aimed at beginners and it comes in sizes 8 to 20, which is a 35-inch bust up to a 47-inch bust, and that goes up to a 59-inch hip. I would say that the hip size is quite generous because it's got the flare in, and so is the waist size as well. So you do need 60-inch wide fabric or 150cm wide fabric to get the flared skirt in it, and it will need up to 2.2 meters for the larger size. So this has been made in a crepe, like a polyester crepe, but yeah, it's saying cotton lawn, viscose crepe or a silk to make it in. So can highly recommend this one. I've made it myself and I really do like this dress. I wear it a lot during the summer months and just go for lunch with friends or something like that. So the next one from the same magazine is the Emily button down dress. So I would call this a shirt dress, similar to what I'm wearing here. This is the Colette Penny Dress, by the way, if you're wondering, made in a Liberty lawn. I've not made this one that I'm going to talk about now, but it looks lovely, does this one. I do like a shirt dress. I've made lots and lots of it in the past. This one has got short, slightly puffed sleeves. It's got a hidden button placket, and then it's got princess seams, so it will give you a really nice fit. And then you've got a proper stand collar on it, like I have here, and a belt. So this one is saying that it is again for wovens, and you need up to 3 meters of fabric for this one for the larger sizes. It goes again from sizes 6 to 20, which is a 32-inch bust up to a 46-inch bust and up to a 39-inch waist. So yeah, a really nice pattern is this one. It can get a nice fit on it with the princess seams. It's always a good way to get a nice fit, and the hidden button placket gives you just a nice finish on it. So a good one to up your skills, or if you're like me and you just like a shirt dress, it's a nice one to try. So yeah, that's the second one from Love Sewing magazine. They did email me with about 5 free patterns. I can't go into them all, but I'm trying to keep it brief, so that's the 2 that I picked out. So next up is a free pattern by Made Label, and this is kind of a voucher towards $15 Australian dollars towards anything in their collection. This was an email that I got through, so I'm hoping that you will be able to get access to it as well. So everything that I talk about will be linked below. She's only got about 8 patterns on her website. She's got 2 in the pipeline coming up new. But the one that I was going to talk about was the Dusky Rose dress, which is a really lovely sort of boho feel dress. Quite loose fitting throughout the bodice, and then just like a little waist tie. I think it's 32 to 41 inch bust up to a 43.5 inch hip. So it's very limited is this, I'm afraid. But they do have some really nice sort of loose fitting garments, I would say. They're not particularly fitted, so you've probably got a little bit of wiggle room there. And if you sign up to her newsletter, she has a little wrap skirt, the Frankie wrap skirt, which is, it's wrapped and then it's got ruffles down it. And that is a free pattern if you sign up to her newsletter. So it might be worth actually signing up for that and just seeing how you get on with the wrap skirt. But yeah, the Dusky Rose, it is a maxi dress. It's got a high-low hem and it's just higher at the front than it is at the back. So I really liked that one and I might be going for that one. It's designed for a woven, such as a viscose. You want something with a bit of drape for that tie at the front. So yeah, she's got some really lovely patterns, sort of that boho, floaty feminine feel. And yeah, the Dusky Rose is the one that I picked out, but you can choose any of those on her website. So Vicky Sews has got a ruffle-tastic dress, and a few people on Instagram and Alisa from Sloths and Orchids gave me the heads up on this one. Vicky Sews is a Russian pattern company, got lots of patterns on there. The dress that I'm talking about is the Milana dress. Got a lot going on as this. So it's quite flouncy, big ruffles at the sleeve, and then it's got flounces at the back and over the shoulder and then at the bottom too, so it's got like a little ruffle at the bottom too. I like the back of it, it's quite interesting. It's got a V-back. Not so sure about whether you get good bra coverage on that or not. They've made it in an eyelet or a broderie anglaise, we would call it. It's designed for light to medium weight fabrics such as a poplin or a batiste. It is lined, is this one, so you've probably got a bit more work in it than the other ones that I've been talking about. And there is a YouTube video to support it, but as far as I know, it still is only in Russian, is this one. But I've been speaking to Alisa at Sloths and Orchids. If you've not watched her channel, I do recommend Alisa's channel, she's lovely. She has just taken on translation job for Vicky Sews. And she assures me that if you watch the video, although it is in Russian, you should be able to get the gist of it. The good thing about Vicky Sews and quite a lot of the Russian pattern companies is that they actually draft for heights. It's drafted for somebody who's 5 foot right up to 6 foot. So if there's any Amazons out there, then this is the pattern for you. And it goes from a 31.5 inch bust up to a 45.5 inch bust. So yeah, that's a really lovely pattern. I'm not so sure about the proportions of it for me. I'm not so sure. It seems really quite short with the big flounces at the sleeves, but it is a really pretty dress for somebody, is that one. I don't always talk about ones that I like or that I would necessarily wear. Try to be inclusive. So this one coming up from Cool Stitches is quite similar as well. Cool Stitches have got an unusual sort of approach to paying, and it's kind of pay if you want to on most of her patterns. Again, she doesn't have a great deal of patterns on her website, but the one that I was going to talk about today is the Elliot front tie top. This is a really lovely feminine little top, but too exposed for me to wear as a top. So if I was making this, I would probably make it as something to throw over a little summer dress, perhaps when I was on holiday, or you know, just going to the pub or something like that. Stop my shoulders burning, something like that. Couldn't wear it as a top personally because it's too low. So short puff sleeves, quite a deep V-neck at the front, and then 2 elasticated channels under the bust to give a gathered effect. This is available in sizes 33 inch to 41 inch bust. And there is a video tutorial for extra support for making it as well. So yeah, nice little summer top there. So Mood have been really busy with their new free patterns since I've been doing the Great British Sewing Bee videos. They've brought out quite a few. So I'm not going to talk about them all, else we'll be here all night. I'm going to try and keep these a little bit briefer. So I'm just going to focus on a couple of them and then maybe I'll touch on some of them next week as well. So first off are the Calamint jeans. So these are quite a straight fit jeans. They are designed for women, I think, by the looks of it. But I would imagine you could make them for men and just swap over the flies, because they're called what they call a boyfriend fit. So not skinny jeans, much looser, much baggier, high-waisted. It's got all the features of any pair of jeans you would want. You've got a back yoke, you've got the coin pocket at the front, the fly front, and the size range on Mood is usually pretty good as well. So they go from a 24.5-inch waist up to a 49.5-inch waist, and up to a 63-inch hip. They're saying that you want 2 yards of non-stretch denim or twill to make them, and reading the comments below, it looks like there might have been a little bit of an issue with the waistband being too short in the pattern. So what I would do is, if you're going to go ahead and make these, is just cut out your other pattern pieces first. Before you cut out your waistband, maybe cut it out in a toile or something like that. I would always recommend toile in jeans anyway, because they can be quite tricky to fit, although these are quite a loose fitting jeans. The instructions are there in the form of a blog post, and as always with Mood patterns, there is no A0 option. It is just print at home, so either letter size or A4. And I say this every time I talk about Mood patterns, but just in case you've not seen videos of mine before, I've got a little video to help you download their patterns. It's not that difficult, but if you want any help, I've got a little video that I'll link to down below for you. So yeah, they've got their instructions in the form of a blog post, and if you look at the photographs, they've used some very odd fabric. It looks like curtain fabric, but all the instructions seem to be there. A good detailed tutorial there. So next up is another little summer dress, and this is the Clementine, which is just one shouldered. So you've got an exposed shoulder, and then you've got a sleeve over the shoulder, gathers over the top of the shoulders with elastic, and then it's gathered at the waist as well. I would imagine the skirt's just a square, and although the one that they've got there is just knee length, I would imagine you could make that whatever length you like. So it's just a little bit of a nod to the cut-out fashion without it being too exposed. I think I could possibly wear that one. We're not feeling too exposed. This is actually designed for knits and wovens. They've used a chambray, which is quite a stiff fabric, I would have thought, for something like that. They are sort of saying that you can make it in like a silk print or something like that, or a linen, or a viscose jersey, so you can make it knit or woven. So it'd be a lovely little summer evening dress with this, you know, if you're on holiday. So they are saying that it would take 3.5 yards of fabric, and I would imagine that's because it will start off quite big to gather into. It's quite fabric hungry, is this one, and you would need quite a lot of elastic as well, because you've got elastic going over your shoulder, you've got elastic at the bottom of one sleeve, you've got 2 lots of elastic at the waist, so it would need quite a lot of elastic for that one. But a lovely little pattern. And then the last ones from Mood that I'm going to talk about today are a couple of swimwear patterns. So they've brought out a top and bottoms, which they're saying is unisex, gender neutral they're saying it is. So that's a shorts and top, and then they've got the Speedwell swimsuit as well. So both of these require compression swimsuit tricot, whatever that might be, I don't know. And the one that Mood have got on the website contains aloe vera micro capsules as well. Don't know what that does. Doesn't sound like anything that we're going to be able to get in Yorkshire, to be honest. But if you're lucky enough to live in the States, go for it. Just have a look. Let me know if you know what it is. Quite like the look of this Speedwell costume, because it covers your stomach, but then it's cut out at the back, so it gives you like a bikini look at the back. So that would be a good one for a silly tan. Every year I get a silly tan where I burn in the most unusual places, so that'd be a good one for me. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the compression tricot anywhere locally, but it might be worth investigating. If you know where it is, leave me a comment below. If you've used it, you know what it sews up like. Whether you can just use normal swimwear fabric or not, that would be interesting as well. So again, this one goes from a 31-inch bust up to a 59.5-inch bust and up to a 63.5-inch hip. The tutorial and photographs on this one are really good. The one on the Clementine dress, I don't think that's fantastic, but I think it's quite a simple dress, to be quite honest. Right, on to discounts now, and I've got some fantastic discounts. I think it's possibly because it's 4th of July celebrations over in the States, so I think a lot of the American companies are putting on discounts for people. So I'm going to start off with Little Lizard King, who have got 30% off site-wide until the 11th of July. So well worth a look at her patterns. She's got patterns for women and children there, so if you're looking for a Mummy and Me outfit or something like that. Her patterns are sort of, for the children's especially, are sort of quite pretty feminine. They're not edgy, they are very, very sort of girly. But she's got boys' patterns on there as well. And I'm just looking at the Barcelona dress that is a woman's pattern, and lots of optional details on there. She's got a scallop neckline, she's got a V neckline, tie at the back, high-low hem, all sorts of frills and pocket options there. So her patterns are usually around about $10 full price, so with the 30% off that would make it $6.96, and then that it works out about £5 in English or in sterling. And you just need the code, which is Summer30. Again, that'll be linked down below for you. So lots of lovely patterns on there, but I thought I'd just have a look at the Barcelona for you today. Then we've got Friday Pattern Company, who has got 25% off all her patterns until July the 11th. And that is the code Summer Sewing. Their latest pattern is the saltwater dress, which is just a very simple sort of 90s style dress, like a shift dress. I'm calling it 90s style, I mean it's timeless, isn't it? But I think a lot of people wore them in the 90s with something underneath layered. So this is maxi and knee length or shorter length with side slits up the side for the longer length. So that would normally retail at $14 down to $11.50 in the sale, which is about £8.36. Really good size range for Friday patterns. They go up to a 60-inch chest and 2 cup sizes as well. So I've made their Ilford jacket in the past. The instructions I can guarantee are really good. And yeah, the Wilder gown and the sagebrush top seem to be the really popular patterns at the moment. But I do really quite like the saltwater. It's a really nice, simple pattern, which could be trans-seasonal and trans-generational, shall we say. So as usual, Ellie and Mac have got their Wacky Wednesday, and I will just touch on a few of their patterns because they do the Wacky Wednesday every week, and it gets a bit boring if I talk about them all the time. But I quite like, they've got quite a few children's patterns this week, and what the Wacky Wednesday is that the patterns are $1. They say Wacky Wednesday, but it does last longer than the Wednesday, so it will still be available this weekend. So I thought I'd talk about the Shark Bite t-shirt, particularly because we've got the 4th of July celebrations coming up, and the picture that I'm going to show you, the lady who has made this one has very sort of cleverly incorporated the American flag into hers, so I thought that was a really nice one. But yeah, a really good pattern for colour blocking, using up your scraps. There are a couple of sleeve lengths options in this one, so you can go sleeveless like the one that I'm showing you, or the short and long sleeved as well. And she goes from extra extra small up to 5 extra large, which is 29-inch bust, up to a 60-inch bust, and that's up to a 63-inch hip. And the Shark Bite is available in children's patterns as well, so that is available from 12 months up to child 14. So I thought I'd just mention that with your celebrations coming up. So hot in the inbox as well. I've got a few quick ones that I can't talk in depth about because I haven't had a chance to do too much research, but just give you a heads up. Chalk and Notch have got 20% off their Marcel dress, which is a maxi dress, and that is until the 9th of July, and you just need Marcel 20 for the code. Rebecca Page has got 20% off site-wide. Now Rebecca Page has got quite a few free patterns on her website. This is her 4th of July offer. I think it's for 3 days from today up until the 4th of July. The beauty of Rebecca Page's website is that she's got all sorts of sewing. So she's got craft sewing, children's sewing, quilt sewing and things like that. Don't think you need a code for that one. So I thought I'd just tell you about that one. And then Sinclair Patterns, they've also got 20% off everything their site until the 5th of July as well. So the ones that I particularly liked on their website are the Jakarta shorts, and they've got a Gaia top as well, which is really unusual back. So that is automatic at the checkout. Sinclair Patterns, I've made their Harper cardigan, and the instructions for that are fantastic. And she drafts for different heights, So she's got a good size range as well. So those are just quick ones. Like I say, I've not had a chance to do a lot of research on those ones. And then finally, hot in the inbox is the Megan Nielson Harper shorts and Skorts. She is discontinuing this pattern. So she is doing up to 75% off the printed pattern and up to 50% off the PDF pattern. So Megan Nielson is an Australian company, so that would take the pattern down to $6, $6 Australian, which is £4, which is an absolute bargain, I think. But that's for the printed one. So I would imagine, unless you're in Australia, then that's possibly not worth people's while getting. But for the actual PDF one, it's 50% off the PDF one as well. Lots of sew-alongs and hacks on a website for that one, and you don't need a code. It's just automatically applied. So you've got the Skorts, which look like a skirt at the front and shorts at the back. They're a little bit longer. The shorts have got patch pockets. The Skorts have just got like a slip pocket. Good last minute bargain, that one. So that's it for discounts. On to giveaways now. And I've not got a lot actually this week, but one that I really liked was one from Neko, and that was 3 bundles of Nanny Aero fabric. So they are giving away 3 bundles of 6 1-metre lengths of their new collection, which is the Fawari Double Gauze collection. And Fawari means pointillism, and you can see that actually in the fabric. It is a really good offer, but the fabric is only 110 centimetres wide. So if you do win it, you will be winning 6 metres of different colourways, 110 centimetre wide. So you're a little bit limited as what you can do with it, is what I'm trying to say. That is on until the 4th of July, and that is actually over on Instagram. So we'll leave all the details for that for you down below. And then I Seem So Happy has got a little giveaway on Instagram, and that is 1.5 metres of By Grazilia fabric. You need to follow By Grazilia and Chantel, who is I Seem So Happy. And just like the post, comment and tag a friend. And that finishes on the 4th of July. So that's it for giveaways really. A couple of challenges that I've seen over on Instagram that might interest you. And Crafty So-and-so have got in touch with me, and they're having a crafty PJ party. So this is an international challenge. She's doing it throughout July. And you don't actually have to make anything new for this one. If you've got some handmade pyjamas and you want to join in, you can do that. So she's going to put some prompts on Instagram on the 26th of July, but you just need to share your finished pyjamas. Like I say, you don't have to make new. Tag her on Instagram on the 30th of July. And they don't have to be for you neither. So if you're making pyjamas for Christmas, why not start early? Make your family some pyjamas. So there's lots of prizes for this coming up. She's not announced all the prizes, but there will be prizes for fabric shops, vouchers for her own fabric shop, and she's just in negotiations getting other prizes together as well. So keep your eye out for that one. Then Pink Mimosa by Jacinta I think it is starting the Whole 30 challenge. No prizes for this, but I thought it was a good one to keep in line with something that I'm going to talk about at the end. So the Whole 30 is putting down a commitment of using 30 yards of your stash fabric before buying any more. So if you buy any more, you have to start again. And she's developed a little Google template to keep track of things. And it's just a little challenge to help you get creative with what you've got in your stash. So I thought that was a good one, and I think I will definitely be getting involved with that one. I don't think she's putting a deadline on it. She's starting on the 5th of July, and I think she's leaving the deadline to each individual as to commit when they want to use it by. So there's no need to get it all sewn up by the end of July. Next up is a challenge by Made in Maida over on Instagram, and that is Sew the Sea. And she is doing this throughout the month of July. She's got a weekly prompt, 4 weekly prompts. So the first one is making waves, or make some waves. Second one is shell, yeah. Third one is aye aye sailor, and the last one is mermaid. So there are prizes for this each week. You just need to tag her and whoever's donating the prize that week. So this week it's a prize of £50 voucher for New Craft House, so it's well worth winning. She wanted it to be an inclusive little challenge, so it's including quilters as well. So if you've got any fabric that looks like the sea, reminds you of the sea, makes you want to go to the seaside, I think she's quite open to interpretation with this one. And she is also going to be looking at how we can do better with how our clothes and sewing affects the sea as well, with a few little hints and tips and how we can lessen our impact, which segues me nicely onto the slow fashion movement that's been held throughout the summer from July to September. That is a 90-day fashion detox. You might not think that it affects us as sewers, but I think we probably all consume probably too much as well, so worth a look at. No prizes for that one, just something to get involved with. So all these tie up really nicely with something that I want to get involved with myself, and that is Plastic Free July. So I've got some videos planned throughout July looking at sort of how we can stay sustainable within our sewing and keeping on a budget as well, because I think one can go in hand with the other, but sometimes sustainable fabric can seem quite expensive. So I'm just going to be looking at ways to see if we can balance whether we can remain sustainable and keep frugal. So I'm going to be starting on Wednesday with a little review of this book, which is How to Sew Sustainably by Wendy Ward, and just have a quick review and see if we can pull any tips and tricks out of that. So she's talking about recycling, reusing and remaking with fabric in that book. Then on my next Frugal Friday I'm going to focus on zero waste patterns. So if you've got any tips, if you've got any zero waste patterns that you've used, please leave me a comment below and I'll have a look at them if I've not found them before. That's my sort of next couple of videos coming up. On Sunday I will be doing my Makes for June, and then Andra over at Andra Makes has got a little interview with me. She calls it Vlog Life, so she's already done 3 videos prior to me. She's interviewed Lindsay from Behind the Hem, Karen at So Little Time and Sarah Lawson at So Sweetness. So if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know I'm a big fan of Sarah Lawson and the other 2 girls as well. It was a great honour to be interviewed by her and just to talk about a little bit in depth about YouTubing in general. It is about sewing, but it is about YouTubing as well. So that's out now. So if you want to give that a watch, I will link her video at the end. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions or you know of any initiatives about sewing sustainably, like I say, it's Plastic Free July, but I'm looking at broadly sustainable sewing. And I'll put a few videos together, and then maybe with the zero waste patterns I'll maybe do a vote on perhaps doing a sew along for one of them, probably narrow it down to 4 and then perhaps do a sew along for one of them for one of my Wednesday videos. If that's of something of interest to you, leave me a comment below and let me know if you've got any ideas as well. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you found some nice new free patterns there and giving you some food for thought for the sustainable sewing. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you hit the notification bell, that will tell you when I've got new videos out. Usually on a Friday I do the Frugal Fridays videos. The 100 Days of Sewing videos are looking at sewing frugally and are aimed at people who've been sewing for a long time, but also for people who might be new to sewing and are looking for hints and tips to make sewing a little bit more accessible. On a Sunday I usually do reviews or plans or makes videos, that sort of thing. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I shall speak to you later. Bye. Second one is shell yeah, shell yeah, shell yeah, shell yeah.